What else are the effects of interest rate rises? Well, this is just a knock-on effect, and we don't live in something happens over here and this one thing happens over here. We live in a world where this thing happens and this thing happens and this thing happens, and then they're all interconnected, and then there are a multitude of consequences from all of these different things, right? So you never just unravel one piece of string and the whole thing is interconnected. It's just not how it works. There's lots of pieces of string where you can pull all of these different things and nothing can happen, or you can pull 2 or 3 and something very unique happens, and that's kind of like where we are. It's kind of like a perfect storm. So first of all, you've got more landlords are leaving. We've already lost 50,000. Is it 50 or 90? We've lost 50,000 landlords since 2019. I think it's 50,000. Like, you think about that, so that's, about 12,500 landlords. Let's say over 12.5 cities, 1,000 landlords each, they all leave. That's a lot of property that's now not available to rent. And bear in mind, that's just landlords. How many landlords does each property, how many properties does each landlord have? Quite a few. And so you've got landlords leaving, and now because of these interest rate rises, landlords are going to be leaving even more. Look at my voice, even more. Stressed. So on this then, landlords are going to continue to leave. Now, let's just get a step back from this. If you're already a landlord and other landlords are leaving, what's going to happen to rents? Rents are going to go up, right? Because there's less property to rent, all these tenants clambering for somewhere to live, many are going homeless. They have to live somewhere. What are they going to do? They're desperate to get into a house, right? So more tenants are going to be clambering over the fewer number of properties that we've got, which, it's just basic supply and demand. Rents are absolutely going to shoot up. Then you've got Section 24. Can't really see that being reversed. Then you've got interest rate rises. More. Do you think there's more interest rate rises to come? I don't know, but I reckon so. I reckon there's probably more interest rate rises to come, don't you? Just checking, see if anyone's chatted there. So yeah, I reckon there's more interest rate rises. There might be only a quarter or two, another quarter. But honestly, on a large portfolio, that makes a big difference, especially when you can't offset that against your profits. So rents are going to shoot up again. How do we get out of this? We know, because we speak to a lot of business owners, the amount of pessimism that's in the marketplace right now, the amount of battening down the hatches and trying to get through this storm, it's significant right now, it has to be said. And so I just think we're waiting for a new general election. War in Ukraine needs to end one way or another, and I don't know how that will play out. I haven't got a crystal ball. Maybe it'll take another 2 years. Imagine if that takes another 2 years and energy prices have come down. In fact, Ofcom are actually coming out with new energy prices fairly soon. You and I both know those energy prices aren't coming down, right? Ofcom's not worth the paper it's written on. It's like, not Ofcom, Ofgem. It's not Ofcom. Ofgem is, again, it's the same principle. It's not worth the paper it's written on. Toothless, as usual. They're just relying on people to struggle. I just don't understand this struggle culture that we seem to want in the UK. First, we cause ourselves a massive amount of harm through Brexit, and we just continually seem to want to self-harm and think we're amazing in the world stage, and the world is moving on. Other countries are sorting out interest rates. I go to CrossFit and we talk about Brexit. It was just laughing in my face at Brexit and what a stupid idea it is. I just can't see where we're going to go. I just know that if you can batten down the storm, batten down the hatches and get yourself through this storm, if you've got assets, they're going to go up in value, and the rents on those assets, or the dividends or whatever it happen to be, when that comes back through, they're going to go up as well. And you've got to put yourself into a position where you can actually benefit from that, because if you don't, you're just going to be exchanging your time for money for the rest of your life. And I know it's hard right now, but look, it's not always going to be like this. Life ebbs and flows. It twos and fro's, right? You have good days, you have bad days. You have good years, you have bad years. You have good decades, you have bad decades. Usually comes around every, 20, 25 years? Last one was in 2008. We're here now in 2023, so that's 15 years ago. What, between 15 and 25 years, every so often we're going to have a thing, we're going to have a war. Like, you can go back to 2008, you could go back to 2001 with 9/11 and the Iraq War. You can go back to, when did gold come off, the dollar come off the gold standard? 1972, that affected everything, right? Just runaway inflation. You had the Falklands War in the 80s. There's always something, right? And the way to beat this always something that's happening, because there will be something else in 10 years. There'll be something different, right? The way to beat that is you've got to invest in assets. An asset is something that puts money in your pocket. Now, I don't care if you're putting 10 quid into British Telecom and you're getting a penny dividend a year. That is a start. That's money coming in your pocket rather than credit card taking money out of your pocket. Pay down your debt. Get rid of loans. Get rid of credit cards. Obviously, this is not financial advice. I'm not qualified to give financial advice. I only own several £million worth of property. What the hell do I know for the last 25 years? So get rid of debt. Get rid of all your expenses. If you've got a fancy BMW and you're struggling right now, get rid of a damn thing. Oh, people need to see me turning up in a nice car. No, they don't. Your ego needs you to drive a nice car. You don't need that. Batten down the hatches. Let's get through this together, and we'll speak to you in tomorrow's podcast.